Well, happy Easter, everyone. Today is the Tuesday during what we call the octave of Easter. This full week after Easter Sunday, we call the octave of Easter. It's too much joy to be held in one day, so we celebrate as if it's Easter Sunday for this whole week. We celebrate the liturgies almost look the same as they do on Easter Sunday each day this week. But throughout the week, we hear different accounts of the resurrection and of encounters with Jesus after he has been resurrected. Today, we hear one of those with Mary Magdalene as she's continued to weep outside the tomb, believing that someone has taken the body of Jesus, but then she encounters him, believing that he's the gardener, and not until he says her name, Mary, does she recognize that it is him. She recognizes and says Rabboni, which means teacher. But then Jesus says something interesting to her. He says, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Why does Jesus tell Mary to stop holding on to him? It's definitely appropriate that she would be so excited to see him and want to hold on to him, to want to keep him right there. Well, Jesus is trying to show her that there is now a new relationship established between himself and his disciples, between Jesus and those who believe in him, because he has conquered death now and he goes and ascends to the Father. What Jesus is doing is reestablishing a relationship for us as human beings with the Father. That relationship has been severed by sin. That relationship has been severed by our disobedience to the Father. But through Jesus' obedience, he goes to the Father and he becomes our advocate with the Father. And so, Jesus is telling her that you have to start to see things in a new way, in a better way, in a resurrection faith sort of way. And it's true for us as well. I think for us in our lives, sometimes we get into a place where we believe that we know what our faith is all about, what Jesus is all about. But I'll tell you that every year at Easter, there is new joy that, for me at least, that is just unlooked for. Joy that seems to just come out of nowhere because Jesus has truly risen from the dead, and it's something that is totally impossible, but it becomes possible. Jesus wants to transform our faith, to stop holding on to whatever images or things about him that we believe that are just maybe a diminutive view of it, because he's got so much more for us. He wants us to believe in what was impossible, that it can be possible. So perhaps today it's a good question for us. Where am I perhaps holding on to this smaller than what should be image of Jesus? Where am I holding on to Jesus in a way that keeps him in a box? And ask the Lord to give us resurrection faith, to give us that faith that does not have any borders, because Jesus has broken all those borders when he conquered sin and death. And now he goes to the Father to reestablish that relationship with him for us. So we ask today for that resurrection faith, to remember that all those things that are impossible with Jesus now have become possible.